Hello, everybody. Okay, this is day 62. Oh, I hope I'm getting that right. Of 365 days of my raw suspending disbelief journey. Today is June 23rd, 2024, and this is back on track to recording the day of. So where I left off yesterday, I had left my oldest daughter with my ex and his ex, the one that had been with him for most of my daughter's life. And they were going to be traveling down to the city where he's been living and taking him down to detox and all of that. So um, I had, they did make it down last night and stayed at a hotel. And this morning, they had to take him into detox fairly early. Like he had to be there at 7:15 a.m. So I was still sleeping. It was a Sunday morning. I had, my two younger kids and my son's best friend, all sleeping. They all ended up falling asleep on my bed. I had like 2 inches of my bed um, to sleep on last night. And so, yeah, we slept in. So trigger warnings again, for alcoholism, detoxing, seizures, all of the things. And yeah, so, okay. So what I woke up to this morning was, it turned out that right as they were coming up to the detox center that they were taking him to, he collapsed right outside the doors, and had another seizure. This time, my daughter was there for that. And she and this woman, my her semi stepmom for years, um, had to struggle to lift him up, support him, all of these things. So very rough experience for a 13-year-old to have to witness. And also the location of the detox is in a rough neighborhood, and there's just there was a lot that she saw today that um, is beyond what you would hope for your child to see. So that's really tough. And again, she's in a different city at this point. I have 3 young kids with me. I can't go running, right? And as a mom, that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to drop everything and run and go to her, right? And I couldn't do that today. And that was, okay, I should correct. There's always a could. I could have made that happen, but um, it was, there would have had to be so many pieces maneuvered to do it, and it would have been very difficult. And she wasn't alone. She had people there with her and stuff. So it was um an exercise in trust for sure to not drop everything and run to her aid. Anyway, so I woke up to that information that had happened, that he was back in a hospital, this time in that city. That he was okay, but that was what had happened. And basically at this point there had been about 4 or 5 seizures, and um all signs, all uh opinions, all everything pointing to he doesn't get any more chances after this. He has done so much trauma to his body at this point that if he slips up again, he probably will not live through it. And that is terrifying. That is traumatizing. That is, uh, surprisingly, he's still one of my best friends, and that's really hard to admit to and try to prepare for, because so far he hasn't shown much promise of not having another slip. Ever since he did slip the first time after being sober for 10 months. It's been fairly consistent ever since. Things have been really rough. Multiple attempts on his own life, and um, just all the things. Things have been really, really tough. And I thought that they were doing better and therefore let him come and stay kind of thing, and then he got bad news and it just went downhill again. And anyway, not making excuses, because I do still believe that we have a choice in the matter, but also trying to, hold the space for compassion, and that, he's not mentally healthy, and that things are not easy in his mind either. So, today was, he was out for a really long time. He had not come back to awareness or whatever for most of the day. This afternoon, I had a conversation with his dad, who was there, discussing whether Cadence should just be brought home or um, stay a little longer for him to be released again and try again for the next morning to be taken to detox, and all of these things. And it had basically been decided that she would just come home, but that depending on the situation with, like, when he was released from the hospital, and if it was going to be another overnight in a hotel, and all of these things, that she might stay a little bit longer to say goodbye. And also because his ex would be the one driving her home, and she had been up late getting them down there in the first place the night before, and then having a very traumatic day. And so I did not want to push her to leave tonight, drive this long drive, when she's that exhausted and stressed. And yeah, so it was a really tough call to, what do I do? Do I demand that somebody bring my daughter home? Do I trust that she's seen the worst, and that really the only worst scenario that it could be would be if he were to pass away? And in that case, as traumatic as that would be, I think I probably would want her to at least be able to say goodbye, or see that that had happened, and have the um the closure. That's the word I was looking for. um I will say it's very hard to suspend disbelief when you're feeling like there's no hope for a situation. And not that there's no hope for my success, but that there's very little hope for his, and that's heartbreaking. um for his own sake, for my sake, for having, one of my best friends of, going on like 23 years, going through this. And pardon me, I'm not apologizing for the emotion, because this is my raw pocket podcast, my raw journey. But just bear with me. um but especially hard knowing that my daughter is down there, and I just want to hold her in my arms and tell her it's going to be okay, even though I don't know that it's going to be okay. Um, and having to lean into the trust that she is going to be okay being down there another night so that they can take him again tomorrow morning and hope for a better outcome this time, that he will actually make it into the detox, that she'll just get to say goodbye in a safe manner and come back home. And holding space for this throughout the day while having my two younger kids and their friend, and um he left partway through the day and everything, but just it it was my Sunday with my younger kids, which is one in three that I get, and I allowed it to still be a free flowing, playful, we just did what we felt like doing all day. And I didn't, dump them off on someone else so that I could go drive down and go get my daughter. And uh that was not an easy choice to make this time. So yeah. Um I do trust that I can help my daughter through whatever comes, that I will be here for her after the fact, and it's just really hard not holding her in my arms right now. So that is um that is the real and raw of today. There's definitely a lot of disbelief to be suspended today. So um rounding off the night with him being okay, being in a hotel, grandpa's there and the ex is there and my daughter is there, and just hoping that he can get into the detox center in the morning and be in a space where somebody's monitoring him all the time, so that he can make it this one more time and uh hopefully be able to detox and rehab and have a life. He's not even halfway there. He's got so many years that he can still live, and suspending disbelief that that's going to happen, because the thought of it not happening and how awful it would be is terrifying. Um, so yeah, suspending disbelief, trying to still be practical, but really just wanting to completely suspend disbelief on this one. And um, thank you for listening through me crying. Thank you uh for trusting yourselves to suspend disbelief. Thank you for having, being here, because it gives me the reason to keep on coming back and reflecting and keep on um tapping into what's needed, and keep me focused on choosing to feel how or choosing to feel what I want to create, so that I am being intentional with all of my thoughts and choices and words and actions, through all situations, legitimately the most extreme situations, and just having that self-trust and knowing that I'm making the right choices as I go, as hard as they are, knowing that I'm making the best choices that I can with what I have to work with, and trusting that I'm always exactly where I should be. My daughter is always exactly where she should be, and even her dad is always exactly where he should be, even if that's not where we would want him to be. So, he's going through his trials for a reason. He's going through his struggles for a reason, and we don't always know what the reason is, but trusting that we're exactly where we should be. Um, yeah. Okay, that is what I have for you guys today. So I will talk to you all tomorrow, hopefully with much more uplifting content, but this is the real and raw here. So love you all.